The last week since the Prime Minister has suggested that people should avoid pubs has slowed down one heck of a lot, as you will not be surprised to note.
And have you seen a slowdown like that before?
Have I? No, never, nothing like it.
So why do you think the Prime Minister told people not to go to pubs and restaurants but didn't enforce it via the law?
I think what he's trying to do is make sure pubs aren't very crowded. He's applying the same philosophy that applies in Parliament. So Parliament stayed open, but it's much less busy. And that enables Parliament and pubs to implement social distancing. So I think he probably thinks it's better if they stay open. It'll help everyone if they stay open, and the chances of infection are minimal. If they get very, very crowded, which they're certainly not at the moment, then that might raise other issues. That's what I think he's up to, but it's only a guess.
So your aim then will be to keep pubs open through the duration?
Our aim is for pubs open for the duration. This could go on for a long time, and I think that once you shut them down, it's very difficult. Supermarkets are very, very crowded. Pubs are much less crowded. There's hardly been any transmission of the virus within pubs, and I think it's over the top to shut them. That's a commercial view, but I think it's also a common sense view.
What sort of assistance, if any, will you be seeking from the government to tide you through this period?
We'll be seeking as much assistance as possible. I think that if pubs can stay open, we'll have less need of it. But anything the government can do will be warmly welcomed by the licensed trade. So very helpful not to have to pay rates for a while. And I think they're coming up with some other things as well. So across the licensed trade and the hospitality industry, the government's going to have to do a lot, and it knows it, and it's said it will.
And you haven't been asking employees to take pay cuts or take unpaid leave or anything like that?
Well, it's only happened in the last few days, the dramatic reduction in trade. So what we've agreed so far is that I and the Chief Executive will take a 50% cut, but that's as far as we got.
You've also obviously got your half-year results out today. You've cancelled the dividend. How much is that going to hit you personally in the pocket?
I think it was a famous song that said, "Don't cry for me, Argentina." So it's very kind of you, but don't worry about my lost divvy.
You had net debt at the half-year stage of £804.5 million. Are you going to be asking the banks for forbearance or any holidays in terms of interest payments?
I've never asked a bank for forbearance before. I think, as Muhammad Ali, paraphrasing Muhammad Ali, if I even dream about asking the banks for forbearance, I better wake up and apologise.
But I mean, how hard can this be for the business? In a worst-case scenario, how much do you think sales potentially going to fall by?
I think it's extraordinarily hard for the business. Even the greatest pub or restaurant business in the world depends on its doors being open. So if the doors are shut, it does become a lot worse. We think we're better placed than any other pub company because we've got very high sales to start with, but it'll be tough for everyone, no question about it.
And are you going to be launching initiatives such as takeaways, as some pub operators have done?
I'm not sure about takeaways. I drink Aberdale, so I'm trying to think how a Deliveroo driver could give me 3 pints and a bag of crisps in my house. I'm not sure it's a viable proposition, but we'll maybe come up with something.
And in terms of the day-to-day running of the business right now, are you experiencing any supply chain difficulties? Are the brewers still delivering beer to you in the normal way?
We got pretty short supply chain for all drinks. They'll certainly be delivering in the normal way. All foodstuff's coming through, so I don't think that's. I can't see that that's going to be a worry for the pub and restaurant trade.
And so, in terms of the messaging from government, the communication, what do you want to hear from Boris Johnson?
Well, I think we all know that Boris has got the most difficult job in the world at the moment. and he's doing his best. I think he's trying to deal with a lot of different requests and information. I'd say keep doing what you're doing, keep pubs open, and if it gets really stressful, I'll meet you for a pint in our pub and put you straight.